The hallways are abuzz. The energy that comes with something that you can just feel.
What will be the fallout from recent Russian military and political actions within the Ukraine?
The venue is Blaine High School. Participants from across the state. It is the speech tournament. What is this day? There's so much energy. What does it feel like for the kids and the coaches?
It's great. For so many kids in Minnesota, this is the capstone of their speech experience. So this is where they get to showcase their skills and just show the world their message that they've been working on all year.
And so they get here today, and the nerves and the jitters start to come. How do you talk them down from that? Because when you get here, it's different. There's people everywhere.
And the big thing that I always emphasize is we're competing for sure. But instead of competing and worrying about the rank, you worry about the message, because there's something that comes from your heart. And as a speaker, when you can truly try to reach an audience about what your message is, I think that translates into the rank. So
authenticity is important.
Authenticity and sincerity, absolutely.
What you don't see and only can fathom is that for participants, this day is the end product, the result of hours spent after school, taking ideas and transforming them into something concrete.
It's basically after school every day from 2:45 to 5. Some nights you can stay later and it's 2:45 till 6 or 7:30, and it's really just an everyday thing because it's worth it.
Bailey Rung knows about commitment.
They've gone under huge structural reforms within their military and amped up spending and training missions on the whole.
He was second in a recent national competition.
Europe will be one dominated by the Russians, of course, and the Germans. It's honestly no different than if you're to participate on a baseball team or a football team where you're out there every day and you push yourself to the max and you learn new things. Here it's the same. You can't get by in debate by just speaking well or being charismatic. If you've not honed your skill, you haven't gotten enough material and you haven't put it to use, it's no good for the competition.
What sort of steps should we take to get it up to that coveted picket fence?
The Blaine team stretched itself in the summer at a competition held where you would expect something like this to take place. Harvard, where they found out they could hold their own with the best the nation offers in oratory.
I wanted us to be exposed to a different level of competition that we don't see all the time. We have some great students and it's always good to stretch them and test them. At the same time, our kids are pretty sharp, they're pretty bright, and there's no reason they shouldn't be applying to Harvard.
Her parents were then faced with the daunting task, finding therapy that would work. And to know
what it really is about is moving people into areas they did not know they can live in. In other words, change their self-image by changing their comfort zone.
I used to be extremely shy. Like in middle school, I don't think there was a point in time where I voluntarily raised my hand or actually contributed to a discussion. So I kind of wanted to change that, and I thought, well, sports won't really do that for me. It's just performance-based, building muscle. But speech and debate forces you out of your comfort zone, and that's really important to help a shy person overcome their shyness.
And did it?
Yes, it did.
That's what this does. The goal, not just to master the language or a point of view, but to conquer self. To pull something out from inside each one that makes them appreciate their talent, their inner self.
Kids start playing football in second grade. A lot of kids start skating before they can walk. They aren't really exposed to it until they get to high school. So a lot of students are nervous and are uncertain if they want to do it, but they see other kids who are good kids have fun and they get kind of attracted, and we work with them. They get a little bit of success and it just builds and grows and they have fun with it, and pretty soon they find out they're doing something that a few months ago would have scared them to death.
And with that optimistic approach, the program at Blaine has taken off. It has become a thing to do. The numbers tell the story of what happens when something is taught well and the participants feel good.
It's been 4 years. We've gone from 20 kids to 50 kids, and we're going to Harvard. And any individual, whether it's me or somebody else, is taking second place. That does wonders for the program.
What sort of steps should we take to get it up to that coveted picket fence? Well, the solution...
On this day, that group from across the state funnel into one area, all with different stories as to how they got here and how they evolved because of it.
My mom was actually sick of me arguing with her,
And I came to Blaine and I wanted something to do. I came from middle school where I wasn't super involved, and I thought I'd just give debate and speech a shot, and I fell passionately in love with debate and speech.
What did it do for your self-confidence?
It really helped me. Honestly, I find classes becoming a lot easier. I'm always asked to speak first in my classes. My papers are easier to write now because I have the argumentation from debate and from speech writing.
And all keenly aware of what this has done to add, or in some cases change, their lives.
People who knew me in middle school and know me now, they don't really recognize me. They're like, you used to be so quiet, now you don't stop talking.
What was it? What was the methodology that they used where all of a sudden you felt comfortable as opposed to uncomfortable?
It was really just about pushing myself. Like, when I first tried debate, I hated it. I remember going home from practices and just crying my eyes out because it was just something I wasn't used to. People were aggressive towards me and I didn't know how to handle it. But my parents continually said, you have to keep doing this. And then I went to my first tournament and that was it. That's what pushed me into it.
You were hooked?
Yep.
In general, are you highly impressed with what you see in a day like this, not just from your own people, but from across the board?
Definitely. There's so much talent out there that we don't often get to see because we're from all parts of different corners of the state. So it's nice to have the best of the best together and to be able to watch it and enjoy it. It's pretty fun.
For this is where they realize there is something to accepting the challenge of a task, looking it in the eye and conquering it, the goal of the program. And when it's right, effects will be felt for a very long time.
I want them to look back and say they loved it, that they had fun, that they learned things that they otherwise wouldn't have known, that they pushed themselves in ways they would have never tried otherwise. We get them for just a little bit, and in that time we want to set them up to have a great rest of their life.
Life to the Max is brought to you by Life Touch, photography for a lifetime.